What is up? Welcome to another episode of Toya Talks Wrestling. In today's episode, we're going to talk about SmackDown January 3rd of 2025. Yes, we were in 2025. We finally made it. And first of all, Happy New Year. And secondly, as I said before, my last video about on SmackDown video, this is now 3 hours. I'll be honest with you. This SmackDown did not feel like 3 hours. It felt it kind of just flew by. It was a really good show. It's kind of like, you know how like you're like, I'm going to this person's house, I'm going to this party, and I'm only gonna stay for like an hour or two, and you're having such a good time, and like 5 hours have passed by, and you're like, I thought you only stay for an hour, and I'm like, what time is it? And you're like, this late. I'm like, damn man, I must have had a good time. You know, that's how it was, right? It was just, I don't know if it's always gonna be this way, but tonight it was this way. So, there's a lot of stuff that happened and everything else. I'm gonna try to get quickly as possible and everything else. One of the things was Michin beat Piper Niven's I guess for a title shot for Chelsea, even though Chelsea has not defended her title. She won it in December 14th. We're in January 3rd. She has not defended her title. There's not been much of a storyline. I guess you can say there's a storyline between her and Michin and stuff like that. And I think they're going to have this rematch at Saturday Night's Main Event on January 25th. Hopefully, we can get some kind of a storyline or some kind of something, you know what I'm saying? So, if and when Chelsea loses that title, it's like, okay. They're not just losing the title, it's to lose the title. You know what I mean? So, they're doing that. So she won. And then you had Shinsuke Nakamura had a match with Andrade. And, you know, obviously Shinsuke wins. And then after the match, LA Knight, you know, he attacks Shinsuke. Eventually Shinsuke gets away and goes up the ramp. And LA Knight just basically told Shinsuke that, you know what, he's coming to collect on his debt. He's going to get his title back. And they have a match on next week. I believe. Was it next week or was it Saturday Night Main Event? I can't remember. I don't know. It's like, does LA Knight win his title back? I don't think he should, because it's like, why take the title off of him just to put it back on him? It doesn't make any sense. Like, I mean, I know they did it for like Braun Breaker and everything else, and that didn't even make sense to me. But I don't know. I don't get it per se. But I mean, if it happens, it happens. I'm fine either way, but it's kind of like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's funny. But moving on. The next thing I'd like to talk about is DIY had a match with the Motor City Machine Guns. I would have to say that this was probably a good match. I've seen the Motor City Machine Guns. I wish this match was their debut match, because this match was actually pretty good, and it got me a little bit more interested in the Motor City Machine Guns, because before I was kind of like, I guess, but like this match right here kind of just got me a little bit more interested in them. Anyways, before the match, they had Pretty Deadly telling Nick Aldis that it was Los Gonzas or whatever the hell they're called that attacked Profits, right? And I think Apollo Crews and somebody else was like, well, no, that's not true. I saw them. It was DIY and everything else. And DIY was telling Pretty Deadly, hey, you know, if we don't win in our match and everything, other stuff like that, you're going to be in trouble and everything else. It's like, it's very important for us to win to help you guys out, so you guys get the, you know, have a match with us next time, you know what I mean, for the title. And so, you know, they had their match, and here comes Pretty Deadly. Pretty Deadly comes in for the distraction, right? Nothing really has came of it, right? And then here comes Los Gonzos or whatever they're called. I forgot their name, sorry. And they come in, and they pretty much started fighting with, you know, Pretty Deadly. At this point, you know, you had the Motor City Machine Guns putting both Gargano and Ciampa and, you know, submission holds and stuff like that, and they were about to tap and lose the titles. But what happened was the Pretty Deadly and the Los Gonzos came into the ring. They were fighting each other, but because they landed on top of the guys who were legal in the ring, the referee threw the match out and it ended in no contest. So they got to keep their titles and everything else. The one thing that I am really glad about is the one thing that I did not like in 2024 as far as WWE was tag teams. There was no storyline. They were not doing anything with the tag teams at all. I'm hoping that they do a little bit more in 2025 and this storyline can bring even more people in for the tag titles and stuff like that, because I want them to do more of the tag, because I'm actually a big fan of the tag team titles. I've always have been and everything else like that. So for them to do more work and for them to put more storylines and everything else, no matter how cheesy it is and stuff like that, we need more tag team action. And as soon as we get some more, because like right now it's like the division, but it's like really, it's really just like 5 teams or like maybe 5 or 6 teams that people actually know about and everything else like that. But once we get more tag teams and more storylines for the tag teams, I just want them to do more in 2025 than they did last year. But I like it. I like where everything's going. It looks like it's going to a good place and I'm enjoying it. So the next thing I want to talk about is Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is out there and he's basically, has the mic in hand, he's in the ring and he's like saying that how, talking about how SmackDown is going to 3 hours, how, Raw is going to Netflix, and how he wants to compete, but he can't because of Kevin Owens. And talking about, how he has a ladder match with Kevin Owens at Royal Rumble and everything else like that, and yada yada yada, all this other stuff. And then you hear Drew McIntyre's music come on, and he comes out and everything else. And there's gonna be a lot of Raw people on SmackDown because they're doing this exchange thing and everything else. And I'm thinking Drew will be one of the people who will be pretty much be traded to SmackDown eventually. And he comes out, right, and he looks at Cody Rhodes, and then he gives Cody Rhodes like a hug. It was like such an awkward hug. It was like a real long hug. Cody Rhodes is like, okay, like what's going on here? Like, why are you hugging me? Like, what the hell? And everything else like that. And Drew McIntyre basically said, I'm not here to hurt you. You're not on my list, even though I don't know why he ain't on his list. Cody did help Roman, right? I don't know why he's not on the list, but he said, you're not on the list. I'm here to help you. I'm not here to hurt you. I'm here to help you and everything else. Basically saying that you're going to throw everything away. You're going to throw your life away and all this other stuff like that. You're the quarterback of this whole thing. Like, the wrestling today is like the biggest wrestling thing ever, which I agree it is. And you're the quarterback of the whole damn thing, and you're just going to, waste your time and throw everything away. I'm guessing talking about Royal Rumble and Kevin Owens and stuff like that. And basically saying, you need someone to have your back and watch over you and stuff like that. And Cody Rhodes is like, so you don't want to hurt me, you want to help me and everything else. It's like, I appreciate that, but I just don't believe you. And he's like, Drew McIntyre's like, I only speak the truth and everything else like that. He goes, well, I don't believe you and all this other stuff. And he's like, Drew McIntyre's like, well, I'm just letting you know, right? But if I was you, I would watch your back. As he's leaving the ring, I was like, if I was you, I would watch your back. And as he said that, here comes Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens pretty much, dropped Cody from behind. And Cody and Kevin started fighting and everything else. And Cody Rhodes is not really, it's funny, right? Because Cody Rhodes said he can't fight because he's not totally cleared yet. But somehow he knows he can fight on February 1st. When the Royal Rumble starts. I don't know. Okay, sure. Anyway, so Kevin and Cody are fighting. Here comes security and everything else trying to separate them and stuff like that. Eventually, they start going at it again, and security comes back, and back and forth and everything else. Eventually, they had Kevin. They finally get Kevin out the ring. He's going up the ramp and everything else. Cody Rhodes is like, playing off the effect of Kevin Owens and everything else like that. And it hits Cody's music. That was the end of that segment. Again, I think Randy Orton comes in and it's gonna be Randy versus Kevin Owens at WrestleMania. At least that's what I think it should be. But like, I like how they're playing it. They're playing it off really well and everything else. We're gonna get a lot more of these feuds because February. It's not that far, but it's not. It's not that far, but it's kind of far and everything else like that. So I really like where they are going with this and stuff like that. And now that Drew is involved, we're gonna get that Drew and Cody match eventually, right? Whether it's gonna be for the title or not, I don't know, but eventually we're gonna have that match, so I can see it. Paul Heyman's in the ring and he's basically talking about the tribal combat happening on Raw on Netflix this Monday, and he's like saying that Roman Reigns is going to win. He's going to be the tribal chief again and stuff like that. And then he starts talking about Solo. He starts talking about Solo and the people that who follow Solo basically are just like the worst of the worst people that like they can't even travel, they can't do this, they can't do that because nobody wants to be around them. They're just terrible people. Basically, Paul Heyman said that Tama Tonga, Tonga Lowe, and Jacob Fatu are just trash in a nutshell. They're trash. Screw those guys, right? And everything else. Like nobody wants to deal with them and the family and everything else like that. So then you hear Solo's music play and Solo comes out. Solo comes out by himself. And he goes into the ring with Paul Heyman. And Paul Heyman was like, I'm like 10 seconds from pissing in my pants right now because the last time we met like this, you and your goons put me through a table in front of my family, in front of everyone I know in New York and stuff like that in Madison Square Garden, right? And, Solo Sokoa was basically like, look, I know you owe Punk a favor, but I need a favor from you. And he basically was like, I need you to be in the ringside during our match between me and Roman, and I need you to hold the Ulafala. Because, oh, fuck, I must mention before I said that Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman, well, Paul Heyman mentioned that, him and Roman were training Solo to be the next tribal chief and stuff like that. So I have to throw that out there. But anyways, Solo was like, I need you to hold the Ulafala because I need someone who can be trustworthy. I need someone that loves the family. I need someone that will not betray the family and stuff like that. And everything else. And he's like, if Roman wins, you put the Ulafala on him, and I will acknowledge him as the tribal chief. But when I win, this is what he said, but when I win, you put the Ulafala on me, and I own you. Basically, you're going to be my wise man for life, forever, whatever. And we didn't really get an answer from Paul Heyman. He just kind of looked and everything else like that. I really like the fact that, they put Paul Heyman in this situation because we don't know if Roman Reigns is going to win the Ulafala life. Because we don't know if, like, well, does The Rock get involved and stuff like that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Maybe Paul Heyman gives the Ulafala to The Rock, even though, it doesn't really mean anything to The Rock because The Rock is the high chief and he's really higher than a tribal chief, but still, it's like, well, The Rock could be like, I'm gonna hold this, you know what I'm saying? Until, like, y'all get your shit together or whatever like that. I don't know. Like, I don't know what happens. I don't know who gets involved. I don't know. Maybe maybe Seth Rollins gets involved. Maybe Kevin Owens gets involved. Maybe someone else gets involved. I have no really idea what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen until it happens. So, but it's going to be interesting to see if Solo does win, how Paul Heyman's going to be his wise man or something like that. I don't know, but it's really interesting. I don't know what it is that they're going to do, but yeah, it's pretty, pretty interesting storyline. I don't know what they're gonna do, but we shall see. We shall find out Monday. And Solo also had a 6-man tag match with Tamataga and Jacob Fatu versus Sami Zayn, Jay, and Jimmy Uso. Eventually Solo wins by Samoa spiking Jay Uso for the win. But before that, Drew McIntyre comes out. No music or anything like that. He just comes out, and Jay Uso pretty much suicide dives him outside the ring and everything else. And pretty much got distracted by Drew, and then he thought that at one time Jacob Fatu was his opponent, but it turned out to be Solo because they got tagged and everything else. So blah 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 blah. I know I'm mad at fucking describing shit, but whatever. It doesn't matter. The whole point of the match was just to have send a message, I guess, to Roman Reigns for their match on Monday. Which also had Jay Uso and Drew McIntyre have a match on Monday as well. So I don't know. I think Drew McIntyre beats Jey Uso. I don't know who's going to win between Roman and Solo, as I said before. But anyways, let's move on to the last thing that I want to talk about, and that was a match between Nia Jax and Naomi with a new winner. So let me explain. So Nia Jax and Naomi had a match for the WWE Women's title. Let me just say, whenever Nia Jax is working with Naomi, I think it's probably one of her best matches. I don't know, I don't know what Naomi brings out of Nia that just makes her just go harder and everything else. But this match was pretty good. It was like 20 minutes. It was a really good match. I don't know what Naomi does, but Naomi brings the fire out of Nia Jax, where it's like, oh, okay. When she works with Naomi, it's like, it's always a good match. It's like, it's fucking fantastic. Like, put these two together all the time. Well, not all the time. We don't want to get spoiled and everything like that. But, it's like, they work great together. Eventually, Naomi had put Nia Jax in a submission hold, and Candice LeRae pretty much distracted the ref. And when she did, here comes Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair pretty much beat Candice down and everything else like that. Then Nia finally gets away and everything else, and she throws the tag titles at Bianca Belair, kind of just distracted and everything else like that. And it goes back into the ring, and Naomi and they were fighting and stuff like that. Eventually, both women got knocked out. Here comes Tiffany with the briefcase, and I'm like, here we go again. Here we go again with all this. Yeah, I'm gonna cash in, blah, 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 blah. Right. And both women are down. She goes to cash in, and she changes her mind. And she doesn't cash in, and she hits Naomi because for some reason the ref is distracted between Candice and Bianca, and she hits Naomi in the face with the briefcase. Naomi gets knocked out. Nia Jax goes into the corner, gives her the Annihilator, and then pins her 1, 2, 3. Nia Jax keeps the title, and so they're all in the ring, Candice, Nia, and Tiffany, and everything else, right? So then, you had Bianca Belair in the ring, and Nia Jax goes and basically attacks Bianca Belair, right? So Bianca Belair is out, and she's I think she's out in the corner, right? And I think Nia Jax is celebrating, about to do the Annihilator on Bianca Belair, and then it's finally fucking happened. Tiffany Stratton blasts Nia Jax in the back with the briefcase, and everybody, there was a huge ass pop, and everyone was like, "Yeah, finally! Wow!" You know, they were so fucking happy. She gets rid of fucking Candice LeRae and everything else like that. During this time, she goes out the ring because she's about to cash in. Bianca Belair goes up because Nia Jax is slumped over the ring post. She got on the second rope. Her body slumped over the ring post. Bianca Belair lifts her up from the second rope to do her KOD. Right? She goes outside the ring, and you know, Tiffany Stratton pretty much gets rid of her over the announce table and everything else. And she cashes in. She does the prettiest moonsault ever. Gets the 1, 2, 3. We finally have a new women's WWE champion and Tiffy Stratton. So yes, it is now officially Tiffy time. New year, new champ. Who dis? We finally made it. She should have cashed in a long time ago. But you know what? We're going to start off with SmackDown 2025 with Tiffany being the champion. I'm all for it. I'm all for it. But you know this means, right? You do know what this means. Like SmackDown, not SmackDown, but WrestleMania, it's going to be the Battle of the Blondes because you know Charlotte's coming back. Right? You're going to have that match. I don't think there's no way around it. I don't know. Maybe somebody, I don't know. But Charlotte versus Tiffany, it's a coming. All right? There's a storm a coming. There's a blonde storm a coming. And that is it. Congratulations to Tiffany for finally cashing in and everything else. It was a big part. Everybody was happy for her. I don't know if this means that she's now a face because she turned on Nia. Not sure. Don't know. Maybe she goes double heel like Dominic Mysterio, but I don't know. But anyways, I'm happy. I'm finally glad she cashed in and stuff like that. It was a great surprise. I am thrilled. I don't know, but congratulations to her. Her being champion. I think she should be champion for a while. For a while at least, you know what I'm saying? Anyways, that is all, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I will have some other videos coming out starting next week because it'll be a lot more easier for me to do more videos because my kids go back to school next week. So it'll be a lot more easier for me to make these videos for you guys and everything else. But and other videos I wanted to make, but I can't make them because I have to do it during the daytime. My kids are home and they don't shut up. So I'm going to be going there. I'm going to be just working and making videos and videos and videos for you guys. I have so much great ideas that I wanted to do and I just can't do them. But next week and the following week will be great. I can't wait for Netflix. I'm excited. Raw, Netflix. I mean, it's this Monday. I don't know about you, but I am excited. I am just, oh my god, I can't wait. Anyways, hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Saturday or whenever you watch this video, and I will see you guys in my next video. Okay, bye.